President Biden made the official announcement on Friday, nominating Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson for a seat on the U.S. Supreme Court. In doing so, Mr. Biden appears to have fulfilled one of his campaign promises to put the first black woman on the high court. But the groundwork for the choice was laid far earlier. CBS News correspondent Nikole Killion sat down with a group of African-American women who've been leading the charge to reach this historic milestone.
I'm looking forward to making sure there's a black woman on the Supreme Court to make sure we, in fact, get every representation.
As soon as President Biden made that campaign pledge, it was game on.
I was ecstatic. It was something that I personally had been working for and thinking about my entire career. But I didn't see it catch fire the way that I thought it should.
So have you all rented your cars?
Attorney Kim Tigner tapped some of her lawyer friends during the height of the social justice movement in the summer of 2020.
No justice, no peace!
Form the group She Will Rise.
There is not another black women's created and led entity within this space that is helping to inform the discourse. And this is a labor of love for us. I mean, we are living this.
The collective has been dedicated to elevating an African-American woman to the high court, launching a petition and a website to track judicial nominations.
Why do you feel it's important to have a black woman on the Supreme Court?
First and foremost, because we've never had one. And we know that the demographics of this country are changing every single day. And we believe that representation is important.
The nomination of Mr. Thurgood Marshall, Solicitor General, to the position of Associate Justice, Supreme Court.
When Thurgood Marshall became a Supreme Court Justice and he walked into the room, everything changed. The tone, the tenor of the other justices also changed, right? And so what we want to see is someone who can bring her legal acumen, her brilliance in scholarship, and her lived experience to those conversations and to those deliberations.
The reality is, we actually think that the absence of a black woman on this court is an abject failure, frankly. You look at the state of the country, and today, black women make 63 cents on the dollar. It's 2022.
And also on the concept of what it means to be a deliberative body, right? Now, we have to understand the civil rights movement is built on 5-4 decisions on the Supreme Court, right? And there have been times in history where justices have had their minds changed because of these conversations that are happening. It's that deliberation.
But what do you say to people who say this is just an affirmative action pick?
It's an interesting argument because in this country, the people who benefit most from affirmative action are white women. And yet no one claimed affirmative action when Justice Amy Coney Barrett was nominated and eventually confirmed.
In 27 days.
Right. And so when someone says affirmative action, the adverse to that is them basically saying that there are no qualified black women to serve on the Supreme Court. And that's obviously not true.
April Reign created the Oscars So White hashtag in 2015. The viral movement led the Academy to make sweeping changes to diversify its voting membership and film requirements. When it comes to the Supreme Court, only 7 justices have not been white men in its 233-year history.
In essence, is this courts so white?
It is. It is, and it's not just the Supreme Court, it's the entire federal judiciary. We come in all shapes and sizes and colors and genders and sexual orientations. The judiciary, up and down, from the Supreme Court to your local judge, should represent the community. That is why it's important to have more people who identify as women on the court. That is why it's important to have people who are visibly disabled. That is why it's important to think about people's ages as well, because these justices will be on the court for decades to come.
My nominee for the United States Supreme Court is Judge Ketanji Jackson.
Now that the president has nominated Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, they say they look forward to the day when she is confirmed.
It's going to be emotional, quite frankly, because there is the feeling seen component of this.
To me, this is This is huge. This woman's work will impact generations.
And my presence before you.
So I think about Shirley Chisholm saying, you know, if they don't offer you a seat at the table, bring your own folding chair.
That's right.
And that's what we've been trying to do, forcing a seat at the table so that our daughters can sit there.
And seat someone who looks like them. For CBS Saturday Morning, Nikole Killion, Washington.
So important to see it, and you can believe it.
It's just remarkable to think, really extraordinary, that if confirmed, she would in fact be the nation's first black justice, female justice on the Supreme Court in more than 2 centuries.
Incredible.